this is the third part of my mini-series where I go from your step 03 all the way to 01203, which I did in my recent mini-sampler called Made Complete. Maybe it's not so recent by the time this comes out. I don't know when this is coming out. But regardless, so prepare yourself. This time is going to be a lot of yapping. So if you don't like yapping, then I don't know, put on some music and watch the clips or something. I don't know. Not my problem. So we're starting this video off with the first session of me trying 01203. This was on March 1st. So with this session, 103 was a struggle, which is really, really annoying, but it was also really reasonable because I hadn't done 103 in like 2 weeks or something like that. So yeah, it was a struggle. It took a lot more tries than I wanted to, and then also 203, same thing. I didn't fail 203 at all, but I did a lot of ones where I like dry swinged out of the gainer switch. But eventually I got a really good 203, which might actually be the best one I've done so far. Not entirely sure, but it was really good. And then I moved on to aerial wrap full punch, double full swing, which was my first time doing that, and it took a lot of getting used to, like a lot of tries just to get like even a gainer switch out of that. But my body kind of figured out how to do that, and I got past that, got a decent gainer switch and managed to get it to cork snafu, which was pretty good. And then I moved on from there to the 01203, which I was very confident I was going to get this session. Obviously I didn't. In general, I didn't have enough power from the gainer switch to get the triple cork, and I didn't have enough power in the gainer switch because I didn't have power in the double full. I managed to get a couple close attempts, but it really was not there, and it just wasn't happening. And at this point, my goal finally switched from 2203 to 01203. I finally gained some sense in my expectations. It took long enough. Then the next time I touched up on this concept was March 20th, so almost 3 weeks later, and I did one to snafu just in a session for muscle memory practice. I did a lot this session, and my next video will actually be on it because a lot of the sampler stuff came from this session. Really excited to get that one out. It's actually a really nice one. I did a lot that session, and a good amount of it didn't go in the sampler either, so definitely stay tuned for that video. It'll be cool. In general, the 0120 snafu took a lot more attempts than I would have liked. Just a couple dry swings, a couple snafu fails, but the one I got was decently nice, so I took it. From there, 2 days later, I was trying the 01203 again. It was March 22nd. So in general, the consistency in getting a gainer switch was much, much, much higher than the first session, but the power still really was not there. And the main struggle I found that was really, really holding me back was that I was kicking the floor, except I wasn't kicking the floor on the double corks to split, the cork snafus. I was only really finding myself kicking the floor when I was trying triple cork. So it was kind of one of those stupid things that just make me annoyed, make me upset in my tricking. The stupid thing is I didn't even try and figure out why I was kicking the floor. I just kind of was like, okay, sometimes I don't kick the floor, so maybe I can land it on one of those sometimes where I don't. And I think this just kind of set me up to get frustrated, and I got really frustrated that session. I was really mad about it. Overall, there's not a whole lot to say about this session other than don't do what I did, because it wasn't smart and it was an injury risk for sure. Yeah, I was just kind of trying the triple cork over and over without changing anything, which isn't going to work in most scenarios. I definitely got pretty close a couple times, but it wasn't there. So at this point, it was pretty much the only sampler clip I had left from my mini sampler, so I was really chasing this combo. So 3 days later, I was trying it again. I wasn't trying the full combo, I was just kind of training the whole thing. I wasn't feeling very strong this session at all, so I didn't plan on trying it at all, but I did try one. But consistency was really good this session. I managed to get 01202 5 times in a row, which was really good, and I got a really nice one to split as well. So I gave 01203 one try, and it was pretty good. It wasn't horrible. I think I could have landed it if I really committed to the landing, but I didn't. I was happy with that session and the progress I made for it. The next time 2 days later, I was ready to try the full combo again. At this point, I'd given up on trying to get this clip hand filmed. It was the only major combo I left, so it was just like, I'm not waiting until Saturday to get this combo. So once again, 103 was a struggle, which was kind of annoying, but I did get it eventually. It just took a lot of tries, like probably the most I've ever spent trying 103. So I got one eventually, and then I did another one just to try help myself feel confident, but then that also failed a whole bunch. But I got that, and then next I did 203, which also took a whole bunch of tries, more than I would have liked. Dry swings, a couple fails, which was really annoying, but I didn't feel like I had anything else to do that session, because like I was trying to finish this chapter in my tricking journey, and I had one clip left, so it's like I just kind of wanted to go straight head on for this clip. Despite my struggles with that, I still got to the 01203, and it went pretty well, honestly. I still had a lot where I just like wasn't hitting the angle for it, or I was hitting the floor. The floor thing was the main thing that was holding me back. It was pretty much the only thing holding me back. Was a lot of the time I would hit the floor or skid on the floor when I was swinging into or out of the gainer switch. Yeah, I tried working on like trying to eagle better, thinking that would help with that. It did a little bit, but like not really. I did try the triple cork quite a few times, and I got pretty close. I was kind of confident I could land it, but then like as I got further in the session, my confidence and hope went down a lot. So yeah, I didn't land it this session, and I figured out, so in general, before this, my double full just wasn't really high enough to get a good gainer switch consistently. And I figured out that if I focused on wrapping my left leg in tighter when I was doing the wrap, it made my wrap full lower and faster, which made the double full higher, which gave me more time to get a decent gainer switch out of it. Getting that fixed helped so much with the last session. That is actually the end for this video. It was probably a quick one. I don't think I really talked all that much, but yeah, mistakes I made that could have sped up the process. In general, I just wasn't thinking enough about the tech and how to make it more consistent. I was kind of just like, I'll just try it over and over and land it eventually, which really is not the best mindset to go about. I guess if I'm trying to like speed run a clip for the sampler, then maybe that's kind of a good roadmap to getting injured. So definitely don't do that. Don't copy me with that. Learn from my mistakes. That is all for this video. This is part 3 of this mini series that is within another series, so this is probably like number 5, I think. Next video that's going to come out is a session where I got a lot of the sampler clips and did a lot of hard things, so stay tuned for that one. It'll be cool. Get out of my garden again.
What are you doing in my swamp?